Hello and welcome back to Echoes of the Wandering Inn. I am Geoff Lalonde and here is...
Paul Morris.
We are excited to get back into the Wandering Inn. We're hopping right back into Chapter 3, which we're calling Rematches.
Rematches. And right before we get to that, we have a little bit of an announcement. We do have an Instagram. My esteemed colleague here figured it out, and so on Instagram we are echoes of _ the Wandering Inn.
So please go ahead and follow the link below, or just search yourself. I promise. I believe you are capable in doing a quick search.
If you found us, you should be able to find that.
Yeah, I believe in you. In any case, we'd love to see you over there. I have no idea what we're going to be posting there yet, aside from maybe new episode updates and like...
We'll probably post a picture and then a link to the podcast. I don't know.
I mean, it is going to be a choose your own adventure, just like this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, let's dive in.
So we start the chapter off with Erin discovering the blue fruit and holding it in her hand.
And as any intrepid adventurer, what's the very first thing you do when you find a new fruit that you have never seen before?
Ever.
You lick it.
Of course.
Of course. Why would you not lick a hairy fruit?
I mean, I wouldn't, but I know some people would.
I mean, I have been known to lick hairy fruit, but that's a whole other story. Ultimately, she kind of goes through and explores this new fruit. She opens it up. She looks at the texture, gives it a couple sniffs, realizes that the core smells like cleaning fluid.
Probably shouldn't eat that.
Probably not.
One would assume if it smells like cleaning fluid, maybe don't. Maybe put it in your mouth.
I mean, hashtag Tide Pod Challenge.
Oh, fair.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't cure stupidity.
Can't cure stupidity.
But in any case, she actually does wipe her hands clean, gets herself going, gets a whole new fruit. Finally tastes this unpleasantly rubbery and tough to chew, but thankfully edible fruit that she described to be a texture of something a little bit more firm than strawberries, that tasted like it was sprinkled with sugar and tasted like blueberries.
I mean, I would want that.
Honestly, that's a lot. That's a lot of flavor. That's a lot of texture all at once.
And I always will say this: Pirate Abba's descriptions of things are just so great.
They are. You know what? They actually remind me of the descriptions that Douglas Adams uses in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it's like, not unlike this thing that's totally unrelated.
Yeah, and for specifically like lit RPGs, you can do that and it not be weird because we know, and this person already knows what these things are. I really hate it when books like they use like our world curses.
Yeah, and we'll be getting into that later on, but there is such depth of world here. Anyways, she goes ahead and eats this one fruit, and then proceeds to eat 8 more.
Just pounding it back.
And then, lo and behold, needs to go to the washroom.
And it is such a refreshing thing that in a fantasy book, they talk about going to the bathroom. Because they never talk about it in anything. Almost never.
Ever. I mean, let's be honest. Hashtag everybody poops.
Yep, everybody poops.
But, like, it's actually mentioned several times through the series of people actually needing to go and relieve themselves. Which is, immersive?
Yeah, I would say that, yeah. It's immersive.
So after she finishes eating and relieving herself, she decides that, okay, now it's time to get back to the inn.
Before she does that, she needs protection.
And not that kind of protection.
Not that kind of protection. Not yet.
Not yet.
But so she grabs one of the cores that smelt like bleach, essentially, and she thought she could make it as a projectile against the rock crab. And she goes and tries to find the rock crab.
Yeah, she goes and finds the rock crab. It starts hunting her down and coming at her, and thankfully she has a fairly decent arm for a chess player.
You never really expect nerds to have such a good pitching arm, but apparently Erin quite good at it.
Right. So she yeets it, and let's just say the rock crab did not like it.
Yeah, and even Erin was like blown away, like on how visceral the reaction was.
Yeah.
She thought like, oh, maybe it would like not like the smell. It literally starts beating itself in the face.
Yeah, and so good news. It got a little distracted, so she was able to just escape. So rematch number 1, success. However, that was kind of short lived because literally moments later, she comes across. Would you guess it? Goblins.
And she, for almost 4 pages, is running from the goblins, but figures out that they're basically children and she can outrun them.
Yeah, well, long legs and all.
Yeah, and she gets back to the inn, but figures out that she's not safe because there are no windows in the Wandering Inn that have any protection. And even the shutters can get busted.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention that, but there's also an entire second floor with no windows and only a limited amount of shutters that actually work. So she goes ahead and just tries to get as many things closed, gets back down to the main floor, and in time to see a couple of goblins climbing in through the windows.
And again, I say this in every podcast, but all two of them. Pirate Abba's descriptions, and like specifically in this chapter, her fight scenes are incredible.
Oh, very, very descriptive. Really takes you don't miss anything because it's almost like it's almost like the story goes into bullet time.
Yeah, like it's very fast paced, but you're like zoomed in. Like her, like she kicks one of them in the balls, and it's like you hear like
she could have sworn she heard something crunch.
And I say this about Pirate Abba, but I want to give the flowers to the original narrator and the current narrator, but we're talking about Andrea Parsnow. Like, she's incredible. Like, it's just like it's not in the text, but like you hear, like she makes that like noise of the goblin getting kicked in the groin.
For boys, when you hear that noise, you like I don't know about you, but my eyes like started watering.
Yeah, it's like moment. It's like like Erin, did you really have to do that?
Right, and so after that, she ended up picking up a chair as a weapon,
like a WWE wrestler.
And thankfully, when she hit the next goblin, the chair didn't actually actively break like it does in the movies. Yeah,
it's like she had a continuous weapon and just started beating.
She did until she threw it at one of them and then picked up another.
It's great. And to this point, Erin has not interacted with anyone except for goblins who don't speak.
Oh, and don't forget getting breathed at by a dragon.
And a dragon that got breathed on. But it's at this point in the story, we've only seen her almost die, for multiple reasons.
Yeah, it goes to show you just how absolutely dangerous this world is, for literally everybody,
and especially someone who doesn't know what's going on. And I guess that's a trope within lit RPG, but it's the grind. It's the grind of leveling up, and
it is. And I feel like in all of any kind of lit RPG or even in video games, the first handful of levels, you fly through, and then it's not until you
tutorial,
right? And it's not until you start to get to level 25 to 30 that it really starts to slow down.
And it's funny because I said this previously. A lot of the criticisms I see for The Wandering Inn, specifically the first book, they're like, oh, it's too slow. Like she's like has to find water, has to find safety. But like the writing is just so engaging to me anyway. I assume to you too.
Well, 17 books in 6 months.
Yeah, it's just like you don't want to stop. You want to see that next level.
I quite literally stopped hanging out with my friends specifically so I could lay in a dark room listening to this audiobook.
And if you're here with us, you know that to be true. So we got a little bit of a tangent there.
So anyways, she totally just kicks ass, absolutely destroys these 7 goblins that came into the house, including honestly quite a badass like Spartan kick down the stairs.
And the other goblins are like, why is this prey kicking our ass?
Quite literally. And to be fair, after this brawl, she does in fact level up to Innkeeper level 4.
But she didn't get anything.
No, it was just leveling up to level 4, totally skipping levels 2 and 3.
And it's just really funny because Erin's like, what happened to level 2 and 3? And then fell asleep.
Yeah, and then at the end of chapter 3, we flip perspectives yet again to one of the goblins, known only right now as the littlest goblin.
The littlest goblin. And I think it's really interesting that they flip this, like they flip their perspective to the goblins so quick, and it's like their reaction to getting their asses kicked.
Yeah, and it says descriptively, it says, and now they were not just hungry, but they were hurt and embarrassed. So now they're hurt and hungry and embarrassed from getting their butts kicked, and now they have to go back into and either lie to their chieftain or
don't say omit
that they got injured. But I do find it funny. The littlest goblin did describe one of the goblins as injured crotch because goblins don't have names.
Nope. But now in her brain.
But now there's a nickname. There's injured crotch.
Injured crotch.
Which gave me. I felt sorry for that one.
Yeah, goblins at this point in the story are.
They are the bad guys.
They're the bad guys, but you know, he didn't deserve that.
I don't think anybody really. Well, I can think of a few people.
He's not going to be a dad anytime soon.
Yeah, no, that's for darn sure. But it goes on to explain sort of a little bit about the goblins' perspectives, how poorly treated this littlest goblin is. But it also shows that she's really actually quite smart for a goblin. She's doing math. She's trying to figure out how old she is, which ultimately we've figured out that she's 732 days old. Whatever math that is. But she specifically uses the units of 10 measurements.
Because the chieftain taught it's the chieftain that taught them how to count by tens because they want the okay, so she counted with leaves, then she had 10 leaves. When she has 10 leaves, she put down a rock instead, and then that means 10 leaves is a rock, which meant 10 rocks is a stick, but paradoxically that 10 sticks was a piece of grass.
Yeah, a blade of purple grass. At that. So it's kind of just interesting that once she gets to 1,000, she'll have one piece of purple grass, and they have to start everything else over again.
Yeah.
But it really just shows that even though she might be the littlest goblin and not necessarily good at fighting or not necessarily good at much else, it's really starting to develop this random goblin as somebody who's pretty intelligent
and has that thirst for knowledge.
But she does ponder at the very, very last little bit at the end of this chapter about what this human being in their space is going to end up meaning for them. And she finishes it off with, well, probably less blue fruits. And so I think that's probably a good place to call this episode here. Thank you so much for tuning in for chapter 3.
Yeah, we talked a long time. And again, we just made our Instagram, so go follow us on Instagram at echoes of _ the wandering in.
We look forward to seeing you around next time for diagnostic on chapter 4.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.